cutting,
and finishing
with a rotary. Hi, I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick.
This is DIY Detail. Today, we have this Subaru. It's got 160-some thousand miles on it, and a few of those miles were through a tunnel car wash. Probably many of them. That being said, we're going to cut and finish with our gold standard compound and gold standard polish. Now, we've made the rotary popular, I think. Some people have blamed us for reintroducing the rotary to the market, but we're introducing now a rotary cutting pad and a compound. Now, the compound will work with both the DA and the rotary, but the rotary cutting pad is designed specifically for the rotary. Very similar to our cutting pad for the DA, same type of wool, but a longer wool structure. On the DA, you need a short nap. On the rotary, you need a high nap.
You've always said, cut with a DA, finish with a rotary. Lots of detailers said, I don't care what you say, I like to cut with a rotary.
Right.
So we are here to meet that demand.
Right.
This is not to say that this is the perfect way to do it or the imperfect way to do it. This is one of the ways to do it, and it works exceptionally well. Ivan,
Yeah.
What else should folks know about this process with the cutting stage?
There's no right or wrong way, first of all. The DA or the rotary, cut however you like. But that being said, with this process, speed one. You don't need a lot of speed. Our compound is designed to be used at low speed. You don't want to create heat. Heat is your enemy here. And the abrasives are a very different abrasive in this. A typical abrasive is shaped like a pyramid. And it digs in, it goes a deep trough in the paint. And that's where we get all those swirls from. Whereas this case, we have abrasives that are faceted like a diamond, meaning there's multiple cutting edges. They're very sharp. And instead of one edge trying to dig in and cut through the paint, now you've got multiple little sharp edges doing actually more work in less time. But at the same time, being not a triangular or pyramid shape, they tend to roll, meaning it's introducing new facets or new cutting edges to the paint all the time. So your compound will work from start to finish.
Our detailer customers are discerning people. They know
Yes.
what's going on. They want to hear Ivan explain it. They're hungry for the deep dive.
Right.
But what I want to know is, I've tried a lot of compounds.
Right.
Does it work better, right? Like, tell me why I would use our cutting compound over other things on the market, because we resisted doing a compound for years.
Right. The reason we did this compound, first of all, we have the C6 division. And the C6 division of DIY, it's more for professional detailers. They wanted a heavier cutting compound. That's what we have here. We designed the pad. It will work with the gold standard polish as much as it works with the gold standard compound. Now the compound, the reason we developed it, the reason we developed the pad was to meet you where you want to be, which is cutting deeper, doing more aggressive cutting. The gold standard polish, as far as I'm concerned, is all you need. But this, if you want to be a little faster, if you want to cut a little deeper, it's the way to go, especially for body shops. They're dealing with new paint that they have to wet sand the vehicle. Factory finish, you don't necessarily want to be compounding or wet sanding on it. This one, like we said, has been through multiple car washes.
Let's show them how it works.
Yep, so we'll start on the hood. Let me get our carts and we'll be back. Like the rest of our system, damp pad, and in the pad washer, we always start with a damp pad. And then, we're not spraying 3 drops. The gel in the compound makes it so it's nice and thick, but also that the abrasives stay in suspension continuously.
Why a gel? I mean, we're just so used to Ivan LaCroix talk about a sprayable polish. I know this is a little bit different.
Because of the abrasives.
Okay.
And look at the size of Nick's drops, look at the size of mine. His are a lot bigger, they're a lot taller. He might have a little more struggle than I do.
Okay. A lot of people like to get speed 6 and start cutting.
Yeah, speed 1.
Speed 1.
It's designed for low speed application. Speed 6, you're going to burn through paint. You'll see here, it's starting to clear up. That is what we want. When it starts to clear up off the surface, we know we've cycled the abrasive and we've removed a lot of material here.
If you're starting to see that it's clearing up, could you ever do like a spray of rinseless wash to wet the surface? I remember doing that in my rotary cutting days.
Right. That, if you're using an oil-based instead of a gel-based suspension for the abrasive, will work. In this case, you're actually making it worse.
So this is a new technology.
Completely
Take
new technology.
What you know about rotary polishing and listen to Ivan. Don't bring your own.
Well, not only just rotary polishing, take what you know about cutting. So compounds, completely out the door, we're starting over.
So even if you went off label, because people like to do this,
Yeah.
and used this pad with a DA?
No, that pad with the DA is useless, Nick. The compound with the DA is great.
So this feels like it's drying up on me quite a bit. Is it now time to re-clean my pad and put more compound on?
That, and you also had your pad up on the edge, so you're only using about 5% of your pad instead of using the whole pad.
Well, I was noticing that
drying out the system.
I was noticing that it wasn't giving me the pattern, so I thought maybe there was some abrasive on a corner that I needed to like reactivate.
No, you used too much abrasive on it.
There is that thought process. That's why I'm trying to have you teach it.
No, that's why I'm saying you used too much abrasive. That's why you're having the machine jumping around on you.
So clean it and put fewer drops on, or smaller
drops.
Okay.
Yep. So a few questions you had there, Nick. First of all, this is our cutting pad for the dual action machine. You'll notice the nap is a lot thinner on this. It's actually a slightly different material, but the wool on this is a lot thinner. This is what you need for a DA, because with this long nap, all it's going to do is this is just going to move back and forth under the polisher and not do any cutting.
So why a long nap for the rotary?
For cooling and for cushioning. That's why. The other thing is, we always start with a damp pad. The damp pad helps us carry it across.
Yes.
Helps us keep it flat. We don't need to put it up on edge to cool the pad. The pad is already cool. The foam that we have here also helps cool the wool, preventing that, and gives us some flexibility to the pad. This is a much denser foam than what we have with this, but it's designed for this tool. It's not designed for the DA. This one's designed for the DA, not for the rotary.
Could I use this with the dual action polisher and the wool cutting pad?
Oh, definitely. The compound, that's actually my preferred way of doing it. But we wanted to show you the rotary because people are asking about the rotary.
We want to teach the right method. So you're encouraging this for the DA.
Yes.
But we also have a wool cutting pad.
Right.
For the rotary only.
Right.
Got it. So I'm going to try this again. So 3 tiny drops?
Yeah.
Is that too tiny?
No, that's good.
Okay, so less is more.
Less is
more. Of course,
more.
I made them bigger as I went. So what happens if I use the wool cutting pad designed for the DA on the rotary?
Way too aggressive, it is going to damage paint. And you're going to get swirling. Swirls are not something we want to deal with. From this, we can almost be finished. We just have to do one little pass with the red pad and we're done. We're not causing deep gouging like you normally would with a wool pad on a rotary because of the abrasive technology and also because of the way the pad is designed.
A lot of folks are used to diminishing abrasives.
Right.
It cuts hard on the front end and it less aggressively cuts at the end.
Right.
Is that a mind frame we should bring to this compound?
No. Because of the multifaceted abrasive, what's happening is it's cutting all the time the same. So if you think of that pyramid again, most of those diminishing abrasives are what's called friable. So you're starting with a big pyramid and then the tip breaks off. And then it starts rounding itself over because the tip breaks off. And then another bit of it breaks off and breaks off and breaks off. And the abrasive is diminishing. Our abrasive, it's a harder aluminum oxide. It stays together, it keeps that shape, and it keeps those sharp edges. What we're seeing here when it starts to clear up is the gel that's starting to clear up. And also, we're starting to clog the pad with paint.
So it's cutting aggressively.
It is cutting aggressively. And, you know, I had very deep bug etching here. It's gone. And it was, you know, one pass. Now, Nick, I noticed you were having problems controlling the machine. It was jumping around on you.
Well, what I realized is I was trying too hard.
Yeah.
So I was thinking I need to be cutting here. And then when I approached the Ivan method of flat pad, red pad, we're finishing with rotary, we're not trying to make it do the work, we're just trying to zen out. Once I just decided I was going to let it do the work,
Yeah.
it smoothed out on me, and I was like, is this working? But I could feel it grabbing, too. It was a weird thing.
Right.
So when I kind of let go and went back to our jeweling pad method, it felt a lot smoother.
Yeah.
Is that, what's going on there? Was that right? Was that wrong?
Yeah, no, the less pressure you put on the machine, the better it's going to work, the faster it's going to cut. Now, I'm wiping off some of the polish residue here. Normally, we'll use a rinseless dampened towel. But just to show you, we have nice shine. We have nice gloss already. We may or may not have some rotary swirls, and it's expected with a compound to have rotary swirls. But in our system, we don't wipe this off. We go straight to the polish and the red pad. So 133 microns there, 134 there, 132 there. We haven't removed a lot of surface, but we have removed a lot of that deep etching. And
Is this for the beginner, this compound, Ivan?
maybe not. You need, get some experience behind the polisher with the gold standard polish first. Now, Nick wiped off the polish there, and so did I. I just wanted to show you the gloss that we get even from compound. But that is not the way we want you to use it. We don't want you to waste your time wiping it off.
No. Time wasting is not an Ivan LaCroix thing.
Yeah. When you're doing your test spot, great. After you've established what you're doing, go for it. Now, the next thing that we want to do to finish this off, and a spray gold standard polish.
Ivan, whereas we did 3 passes or so with the cutting process,
Yep.
we were chatting about this method, and 2 passes with the rotary jeweling pad?
Yeah, that's all you need.
Why only 2 versus 3?
You can do 3 if you want to spend that amount of time, but 2 is all you need to remove the possible swirling left behind by the compound.
Why not 1?
1 can do it as well, but 2 is just a nice, safe number.
Can I grab that damp towel from you, sir? Thank you. And the rinseless wash dampened towel cuts through the polishing oils, right?
Right.
One mistake I sometimes make is I wipe off the rinseless wash residue a little too quickly, and I'm like, why is this so much work?
Yeah.
When you almost kind of let it dry,
Let Mother Nature do the work for you.
it just is a breeze. Then you're not doing a lot of wiping. You're just doing like a kind of a gentle final buff, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I didn't even polish that center section, so. Okay. Now it's going to be hard to see on camera, Ivan.
Well, get the light, Nick. You
Okay.
got it over there. So what are you seeing there, Nick?
Just incredible gloss.
Right. No swirls, no rotary marks, etc.
Ivan, I see a lot of gloss.
Right, we have a lot of gloss. We removed a lot of defects. Now, the hood on this vehicle, the lighting in here makes it difficult to see even with the spotlights. We can see it, but on camera you can't. When we get to doing the side of the vehicle, that's where you'll really come into play. Let's get started now. We only have one bottle of compound at this time. It's the only one in the world, actually. The production ones are coming. We're doing this before you guys have access to it. We're gonna do a two-step, cutting and finishing. I'm gonna cut, Nick is gonna finish. It'll be quick, it'll be a fast way to get around the vehicle. So on the side panel here, I'm gonna start, and then Nick's gonna follow. We have some deeper scratches here. We have a lot more going on these side panels. The car wash, apparently the side brushes were a little harder than the upper brushes. And you'll be able to see it. I'm gonna do just this fender, and then we'll check out the fender versus the door, just so we can see what the difference is. Since we're starting with a damp pad, we don't need to do the hitting the machine all over the place. Just start working. Since we're cutting, we're going to be cleaning our pad more often and working in smaller sections because we are removing clear coat. And when you're removing clear coat, it clogs the pad faster. A clogged pad is when it starts jumping around. When you have resistance, when you feel that jumping around, or when it starts clearing up like this, stop, clean your pad, then continue. Never put clean polish or compound on a dirty pad.
So right away, folks are going to be like, yeah, that makes sense. It's an Ivan polishing system. I can polish over what I just compounded, but it's going to feel different than gold standard polish. So I had a spray of gold standard polish on the jeweling pad,
Yeah.
but the compound was still on the panel. Is there anything to worry about? Like, how is this all working together?
No, the abrasives work together. There's not an issue there. You will find it maybe a little grabbier, but after the first pass, that's gone.
Could I finish polish with the yellow waffle in my dual action? If that's more my style?
Yeah, if you wanted to.
With the gold standard polish, and that'll still work too.
All of this applies to the dual action as much as it does the rotary. Many of you have been asking us to do a car with a rotary. That's what we're doing here today. But you'll see other cars on the channel being done with a DA.
The people want to know, can you use this compound on trim?
No, try to stay away from them. If you do accidentally get on trim, like I did right here, that will polish off perfectly with the gold standard polish. The gold standard polish, you want to polish the trim.
Okay, obviously, yes, gold standard polish on my pad. Question number 2, does this dust?
If you're using it correctly, no. If you're trying to use it on a dry pad at speed 5 or 4, definitely you're going to get dusting. And that dusting isn't from the compound, that's from all the clear coat you're removing from the paint.
Detailers, you know you're going to do what you're going to do, but Ivan's method works. So follow the way we teach it and you won't get the dusting.
Right. Have you seen any dust here so far today?
No.
No. Here we have a lot of scratching going on. This is the worst panel of the vehicle. It's in the light. You guys can see it. We can see it. This is just the worst part of this vehicle. I don't know what they did to it. But anyways, we'll get this all compounded up and polished. You'll see what the results are afterwards. And we're leaving this door purposely undone so you can see the difference. Just to show you what the compound by itself can do, before Nick comes by with the foam pad to finish.
The lighting's always tricky in the shop, and so, as always, I think it's going to have to get into the hands of the public, and you're going to tell us how much you love this stuff.
Yeah.
So just trust our track record here, but all these scratches that were here are gone.
Right.
One thing that folks are not going to want to trust, they're going to want to see is, are there fillers in this polish? Can you prove to me that you actually compounded away the scratches?
Yeah. So we'll start with panel prep. And this is not how we use panel prep, but
right on the panel, that is not an Ivan method.
no. And we'll let it soak in there. We'll let it do its thing for demonstration purposes only. We're trained professionals. Don't try this at home.
We always recommend spraying on the towel.
Yeah. And you never use that much panel prep. But anyways.
Well, you never use that much.
No, you shouldn't.
I know.
Let's scratch this back, Nick. Does
No
it look any different?
scratches. It doesn't look, I mean, there's nothing different about it.
No.
I see no scratches.
Right. Now, a lot of compounds out there will actually resist a panel prep. They're designed to work with isopropyl alcohol. There's isopropyl alcohol in our panel prep, but a surfactant will tell you more truth than the panel prep will. And that's why I have all clean here diluted 15:1. Same thing, using way too much. We'll let it dwell for a few seconds. Let it do its job. Let the surfactants get in there and eat away all that potential fillers. And no, we don't have someone in the factory putting fillers. That's not a thing with us. And just to dry it a little easier, because surfactants need to be taken off, we'll use panel prep again.
This is the most product I've seen you use in this regard ever.
It's actually how we do the testing, though.
Ivan, the panel looks the same.
Yes, because...
Scratch-free, super glossy.
Right, because what we've done is we actually cut. There's no filling going on here whatsoever.
I need some sunglasses. Their reflection's bright, Ivan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Carry on. Once Nick is done doing that door, we'll get some really good shots of the one door versus the other to show you exactly what's going on here. Nick has a thing for polishing mirrors, and you'll notice it's a rectangular mirror. You have a round 6-inch pad. Did any part of that mirror get untouched?
The only part I couldn't get to in here is just on that top left corner, and that's where I might take a little gold standard polish on a rag or on my fingertip and just kind of rub it in there.
Or just move the mirror out.
Like
There
that?
you go. Yeah.
And then go like this? Oh, wow. That did it. That's why I love the rotary. I love rotary on glass because I can do a little bit, and the pad is just so fat and forgiving. It gets right into all these. So I love going against trim like that. Obviously, you got to be careful around certain pieces, but yeah, the rotary is great for edge work.
Yeah. So get that wiped off, and let's do a comparison of the two doors. Now, we have purposely not put anything like NV ceramic sealant on here because we want to show you the raw panel. No fillers, nothing, just the finished product. Nick, you polished the trim.
You can do that with the gold standard polish.
Yes. You
We
should.
highly encourage it.
Yeah, you should do it with the gold standard polish. Oh yeah, there's the color looks different. Never mind the gloss.
I've always loved the jeweling pad with gold standard polish.
Right.
It's cool to showcase how it could be incorporated with the wool pad and the compound on the rotary.
Right, exactly. You can do a two-step. You want to cut more, we have the gold standard compound for that now.
Ivan, this is a 2018 Subaru.
Right.
Could I use this on a McLaren?
You could use it on anything. You could use it on a boat, on a plane, on a tractor. You name it. Oxidized paint, paint that needs a lot of help. That's where the gold standard compound comes in.
But nicer, more expensive vehicles as well. Not just a...
No, definitely.
And even though I love my Subarus, you know,
Yeah.
you show it on a Subaru, it's like, well, that's not that nice of a car. Like, would you take out the big guns or something else? And how do you know when to take out the big guns?
The least often possible.
Okay.
To me, this is something for a repainted panel. Someone that's had to wet sand the vehicle, or you're doing a show car.
Ivan, I'm looking at this front fender, and the gloss is wow. I mean, it's one of these, you have to see it in real life. The rotary and the eye, it's a magic combo.
It sure is. Now, if you'd like to learn more about the rotary and how to finish with it, we have a video right here.